Lynn.
And I'm Amanda. And this is The Pursuit of Badasserie, the podcast.
This podcast is all about taking action and creating that badass business abundance and life that you want.
Where we share stories, laughs, wins, and epic fails to show you the whole picture of the entrepreneurial journey.
It's not just unicorns and rainbows, people.
Jump on and follow us through this raw and witty roller coaster,
where we get down and dirty and go behind the scenes of life and entrepreneurship.
Get on it,
get over it,
and get after it.
Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Amanda. Welcome to The Pursuit of Badasserie, the podcast. I am excited, as always, to talk about our topic today. Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Time is flying by, Amanda. How about you?
It's just another manic Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's all the days. Just, I feel like I never know what day it is. I feel like, when you own your business, you don't really follow a normal schedule. And so I feel like particularly the last couple of weeks / months, it's just feel like I never know what day it is. Never know.
I would agree. However, and I think we've said this on other podcasts, we're definitely head down in building mode. And I know I've had this conversation a few times today, but let's get on our topic today. We're going to talk about one of our favorite topics and one that we feel that is essential, if not crucial, to a healthy business. And that would be
your ideal clients. I love this topic because so many business owners or particularly budding business owners, but just even seasoned ones, don't realize how important it is to have your ideal client in mind. I know when you're in the hustle of getting your business going and running it and trying to get growth in there, you start to just believe that any money is good money. And I'm not saying that, there's bad money out there, but I feel like it's so important to really carve out your ideal client because it can make such a big difference in how your business grows and how you see your client acquisitions going and how your general attitude towards your clients and your business grows.
No, absolutely. And for those of you who are maybe like, what do you mean by ideal client? This could also be called target market. It could be called ICA, ideal client avatar, your client avatar. Like there's so many different names to it, but essentially it is the person that you need to focus on to be able to really, in my opinion, develop your ideal marketing around it to attract that particular client or prospect, actually, because you're attracting a prospect and then you convert them into a client. And then your client journey. So the actual journey that your client goes on should be in alignment with that ideal client, with that person, that prospect that you're trying to bring into your company, into your sales funnel, etc. And if you don't have a matchup, if you are marketing, if your ideal client is, we'll say a 50-year-old man, because maybe you do some kind of, we'll say balding cream. No offense to 50-year-old men that are bald. This was the first example that came to mind. You're not going to use really feminine marketing and young and cartoony type of like marketing in order to be able to pull that particular ideal client in. So there's a direct correlation and into the conversion as well. And the language that you use, the color schemes that you use, it's super important. It can, like I said, can be detrimental to any business,
Yes.
if they are not watching and continuing to check back who their ideal client is.
And I really think it makes a difference overall particularly when you're marketing, because, yes, any client that you get in, you're not going to be poo-pooing them like, oh, I don't want your money because you're not in my ideal avatar. Like, that's not what we're saying. But when you're trying to drive a marketing scheme, when you market to everybody, you are attracting nobody. It really is this age-old sales system that when you are trying to get the attention of every single person out there, you're really going to attract zero customers. No one's going to be responding if you aren't actually targeting any one person. So it's really imperative that you seek out who your ideal clients are and really focus on their pain points. Like, why is it that they particularly want your business? What are you serving and how are you serving them? And that will make all the difference in the world when you're trying to bring in new prospects and trying to really identify your service or your product with a particular subset of people.
Oh, absolutely. And for those of you who do not know, maybe you're just listening to the podcast for the first time. If you go on the pursuit of badasserie.com, one of our downloads is a target market PDF where it's a what would you call it? A process,
a worksheet. Yeah.
A worksheet. Yeah. To help you figure this out. Because it's so important. And I would really say that I would kind of slightly disagree with Amanda in a sense of, you might attract people, but they might not be the right people. And it's not going to be consistent. You are casting a wide net, and it's almost like just kind of like random, like luck of the draw, really. And this is where you have a hard time. I know I'm currently rebranding, and, I just hired a new marketing team, and we're going through this process again. Like, it is important for us to continue, if we're trying something new, if we're rebranding, or even minimally once a year, really refocusing back on your ideal client to be able to say, okay, is everything that I'm doing in alignment to attract that particular person? And even better, when your content is on point, when your information and brand and image and movements are completely on point, you not only attract the right clients, your ideal clients, but you repel those that are not your ideal clients. So when you can really get in that sweet spot, you are saving yourself so much time, so much headache, and the experience with your, those that you convert to your clients, but even your prospects, is a very different experience because they feel heard, they feel seen, they feel being taken care of or a part of the process. And like I said, those that do not belong don't come on the ride. If you've ever been, I know somebody listening to this podcast has been to like a networking function or had a meeting with somebody, and you just knew in your gut they were not your client. Like, I just had this recently. You are not my people. And yes. At the end of the day, it's a good thing to know, because we are not everybody's cup of tea. We are not there to just be a solution for everybody, unless you're Walmart.
Yeah. And I don't want to be Walmart. I mean, and if you want to be Walmart. That's great.
Yeah,
but even know what?
Walmart.
But actually, even Walmart does not appeal to everybody.
It's true. No, that's true.
Because someone who shops at Louis Vuitton is not going to be shopping at Walmart, and Walmart isn't trying to attract the Louis Vuitton clients. And that's okay to know who your niche is. And even
absolutely,
you sort of touched on it, or at least what you said gave me an idea of really finding like who resonates with you, like finding your people. And I think one of the things that I often think my clients don't understand is that you are also your ideal client. So as a business owner, like, you need to treat yourself the way you want your clients to treat you and the way you treat your clients. So, schedule appointments within your business for your business and work around that as and make them as important as meeting with your own clients. If if you're a people pleaser, like, you are a person too. So please yourself too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for those of you that have read the book know that I take two different approaches in the book about this. And that is one thing that I learned many, many years ago, is that you truly should be your ideal client. I cannot tell you how many times I have, been going to, we'll say, having a workshop, or been going to have a strategic one-on-one or something, and somebody cancels and says, oh, this client called and I'm taking too long for this, or, oh, this happened and I have to divert my energy here. And the thing is like, No, if you were sitting with your best client right now, which is you, if you were treating yourself as your best client, would that client know, the other client know that you're having your own me time or your work on your business time or a strategic meeting or a networking function? No, they wouldn't know. They're going to think that you're with a client, which you are. You should treat yourself as your number one client, because then you will not sacrifice that time that you have set aside for everybody else. Because essentially what you're doing there, and this will be another podcast, I'm sure we'll talk about this a lot, but you're training them how to treat you. So that means if you always drop everything and go to that particular client, and I'm not saying that there aren't times that you might need to do this, and there sometimes are very special clients that are paying you a lot of money for you to do this. And in certain professions, obviously, I know that there are certain professions that do like crisis management and things of that nature, but that's your profession. However, you're treating them that you are, and subconsciously, you're treating yourself that you're not as important as they are. But without you, there's no business. So without you, there's no results. So here's the thing, you need to start treating yourself as your number one client and putting things in the calendar that is solely focused for you, because then you have boundaries, you're depositing into yourself all of these other good things that, we can get into in another podcast too.
No, I definitely feel like that is so important, because part of being the business owner is recognizing that there are parts of your business that will need your attention just as much as a client needs your attention. And so I think when business owners push aside their own, like working on the business, for example, that's one that a lot of business owners, oh, well, I'll push that later because, so-and-so needs me and I can work on that later, but later comes and goes so quickly. So if you continually push off those admin duties or growth duties that fall within the business ownership, you're going to come to find that you're not growing, because you're focusing on clients and your clients are all happy. And you, the client / the company, are suffering because of it, because you're not really treating your business and yourself as an ideal client as well, because it's all interwoven and it's all an important part of your business.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So some things that are important about your ideal client, regardless if you are looking at it from an outside perspective, so the prospects that you're bringing in, or if you're looking at it from an inside perspective, which is yourself being your ideal client, your business being your ideal client, if you need to separate them, or they can be one of the same. I would say if you are putting them one of the same, like some of the ideal client time slots that you're doing need to deposit into you as a human, not just your business. Like, getting a massage, going out for that run, going to Muay Thai, having a great dinner, whatever that is, you need to deposit into yourself. You have to honor and treat yourself well, because we've all heard it. You cannot pour anything from an empty cup. So you definitely need to be filling your cup. And then also from the prospect side, the clearer we can get in the marketing, the clearer that you can get in the conversations that you're having, the clearer that you can get in the image and in the branding that's going to attract that ideal client, is going to help you with conversion. It's going to help you with heartache.
Tension.
Yeah, tension. It's also going to help you with the longevity of the client, because you are designing your journey should be designed to add value to that particular client journey, right? They feel more seen, they feel more heard, they feel more participated in. So it's a win-win by just taking the time. And again, I would say I do it on an annual process. But I definitely would suggest, if you're doing any upgrading, if you're bringing in even a new aspect of your business, maybe a new program or a new this or a new product, like do the work around that and see, okay, is this still the same ideal client avatar or ideal client or target market that we're going to be marketing after? If not, what are the tweaks that need to be made? this is going to save you so much time in the long run and so much headache.
Yes. And I feel like if you're having a hard time identifying who your ideal client is, some of the action steps that I would take to identify that would be, number one, think about the problems that you solve and who can benefit most from your product or service. And two, think about your current favorite clients. Like, who are your absolute favorite clients, the ones that bring in the most money, that give the most referrals naturally, that you enjoy working with, that really check all the boxes and what you want in a client, and then focus your avatar around that person. Like, who are they? What age are they? What's their socioeconomic background? What are their dislikes and likes? What problems do they have? What pain problems have you solved in your company? And really dissect that person who is your favorite. It's okay to have favorites. I know we don't want to say that we have favorite clients, but it's okay to have favorite clients. And I would really, if you can't quite identify who your target market is, I always like to start with my favorite people, the people who just bring me the most joy in what I do, and also happen to be in that top 10% of earners or income bringing clients.
Yeah. That's a good point that you added there, that they're also paying you, Amanda, because
yes. I love clients.
Yeah.
I've got lots of friends, but
exactly. Maybe some people aren't being paid. So I love that addition. I also love that. And one of the things, not just the worksheet, remember, there is a worksheet on our website. It's a whole booklet, but there is a target market worksheet, excuse me. But I do love the list. I love a good list. And a lot of times for established clients, what I'll have them do is dream up those 5 clients or how many of our clients that were their best clients, and essentially have 3 columns: what they loved about them, right? So the solutions, what went right, the good, the bad, the indifference, essentially. And I know that's another podcast we'll talk about, but the good. So what was good about it? Maybe what were some of the things that, you could have done different, or you didn't really care about them, or that they didn't feel necessarily in alignment. And then the indifference. Was there anything missing? Was there something that you wanted? Was there something that you're not certain on? And this starts to paint a really clear picture, because then you can take and multiple clients are good, because then you have something to go off of. And then you can take that and take the good column and then design a marketing target market / ideal client kind of avatar around them and market straight to them. A lot of times we know exactly what we do not like or what we do not want. So that's why I love that column, because there are things, not every dance is perfect with our ideal clients. Sometimes we do something wrong. Sometimes they might be missing something. But this gives you lots of even marketing material too, because you can, like Amanda said, like finding those pain points and doing this particular assignment will help you see the pain points, will help you see where you could have steered things differently. And so this will give you a great base to be able to identify and start communicating. And if you're not good at communicating, hire a content writer. Hire a content writer who specializes in this. But you need to get clear on your ideal client as well. Another thing I'm going to add that I'm going to let you chat is that, and we haven't even spoke about it, but I know we're going to be doing some podcasts on this as well, is behavioral styles play a big role in it as well. Certain behavioral styles like long-winded information, certain behavioral styles like very simple, clear communication, some like fluffy words and some like more meaningful words, right? So you really have to decide, even who you're marketing to, who you want in a behavioral style as well. And DISC is one of our favorite. And I know we'll be going through that in our podcast as well.
Yes, for sure. There's definitely a way to say things that appeal more or less to certain types of people from a personality standpoint. It's subtle sometimes, but man, does it make a difference when you're really literally speaking someone's language. So it's a whole nother subset of our very, of regular English language. There's just certain words that are more or less triggering, I guess would be a word you would say, because there's definitely ways. I mean, I can tell it whenever I get a message on my phone and I'm like, oh God, this person is, and I can tell just by the message, the kind of personality and whether or not I can, how I'm going to respond to them in email or in calls. It definitely makes a difference. But this is, so to sum up, I know we're about running up on time, but when you're thinking about really identifying your ideal client, another sort of buzzword you hear these days is niching down. So like you're truly trying to find your niche. Like what is your rock star client? Who can you really help the most? And I like to approach it from not like who's going to give me my money, but who really needs my service? Who needs me? Like who can benefit most from the goods or services that I'm offering? And I want to get my message in front of those people, because not only will they be the most loyal, the retention will be longer, I will be able to sell them faster and give them a clear picture of their journey, but also make those promises, actually keep those promises, because if they're coming to me seeking a service or a good and they are my ideal client, I will be better able to serve them and have them get to the results they want, because they do align with my company's purpose and my own personal search for an ideal client. So it's more than just getting the people to get you money faster. That's not at all what it's about. It's really about identifying the people that you can help the most and get them what they need to make their lives better. And whatever that is, whether it's an iPhone or it's, back scratcher or whatever it is that you're selling or coaching or whatever it is, your goal is to seek those people out who really need you and fulfill their needs.
Yeah. And I would say for those of you that are more service-based, like coaches and consultants, or small entrepreneurs that are more service-based, at the end of the day, when you're attracting the right clients, kind of like what Amanda was saying, is that your process with them is easier. You do not feel like you're always pushing a boulder up a hill. And they also feel that, right? So it becomes easier and less difficult. And I will tell you too, I feel like we can keep going on and on about this one, is that it is so important to do this process, because I can tell you from personal experience, I've actually attracted people who originally I thought were in my target market. They ticked all of the boxes. And then after a while, they no longer became my target market. Now, being an entrepreneurial development strategist, I want people who are going to take action, follow through, and different things like that. And so maybe they did in the beginning, but then they stopped at some point. And so then they stopped really becoming my ideal client, because I'm an action person. I want things done. And so at the end of the day, again, I'm going to tell you, it's okay to get rid of them if they're no longer, or but you need to fix what your communication was. Or you don't have to get rid of them, but then it becomes more difficult. You're pushing up the hill. Just always be reviewing your target market or your ideal client information. And then do not forget that you should be your best client. So 2 parts to this. You should be your best client. Make sure that you are scheduling time in for you and nobody else takes that time. Your client does not need to know that you are off having brunch and getting a mani-pedi or a massage. All they need to know is that you're there for them. And when it's their client time, that you're not being disruptive and taking other people's calls. So why would you do that when you're with other clients? Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly.
All right. Well, we definitely could talk about this topic a lot, and I'm sure we'll have another podcast around this. But until then,
get after it, my friends. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave us a review and share it with your friends. We would love to hear your feedback.
Absolutely. All right. Until next time, let's go get it. All right, everyone, it's not enough to just listen.
Now you've got to put it into action.
We are so excited to see what you do next.
If you enjoyed our show, please leave us a review on iTunes.
And to find out more about what we're doing, visit us at thepursuitofbadasserie.com.